is coming in. So losing the motion to suppress, the defendant took a deal, but when you take that deal, you get to appeal that ruling. And this is the appellate court hearings grading the papers, if you will, of the trial court. So these judges, Quinn, Campbell, and Pirtle, they sit on the appellate bench. They're reviewing the work of Judge Woodburn out in Potter County. They start with first paragraph. We reverse. Not a whole lot said there, but gives you the entirety of the opinion there. We reverse because we think the judge was wrong. But here's what everyone is talking about today. I'm calling it intellectual honesty, which is something that is so rare in appellate opinions. And what I mean by that is I think appellate judges, in a lot of cases, go out of their way to find a reason or an excuse to affirm convictions even where they find error. Do you find that's the case, Earl?
Absolutely. And as you well know, a lot of cases, even where the error is so obvious that the court will have to admit that there was error, then they will say, however, it's harmless here.
Yeah, that's always a favorite too. Yeah, there was error, this was wrong, but it was harmless. But in this case, we get the Court of Appeals saying, and I'm going to read you the first part, I'm going to skip over the citations to other cases, but just read you the first paragraph. A logical reasoning sequence based upon some training and experience. Because drug traffickers have been seen breathing, then breathing is indicia of drug trafficking. Because they normally have two hands, the having of two hands is an indicia of drug smuggling. Silly, maybe, but one can wonder, is that the direction we are heading? Whether it be driving a clean vehicle, or looking at a peace officer, or looking away from a peace officer, or a young person driving a newer vehicle, someone driving in a car with meal wrappers. I know none of us eat fast food in the car, right? Or someone driving carefully, or someone driving on an interstate. Most anything can be considered as an indication of drug trafficking to law enforcement. And then they go on and on and on and say, all of these cases have said, yep, looking away from the police, that must mean you're involved in criminal activity. Oh, looking at the police must mean you're involved in criminal activity. So what the court's getting at here in this case is the silly excuses that courts have given time and time and time again to law enforcement to confirm their suspicions. Innocent behaviors that police officers are now saying, well, that means he's a drug trafficker. You have fast food bags in the car, you must be a drug trafficker.
And I think this was an interesting case also because the driver was actually doing 3 miles over the speed limit, and that's why the officer stopped him in the first place. And the officer told him, why are you nervous?
I think everybody that stops is pretty nervous. I mean, you can be doing nothing and the police pull you over. Don't you always get that tingling? Your heart races, you're jittery, you're thinking, oh no, what's going to happen now? Right?
Absolutely. And
I do it.
I can be driving the speed limit, I can be going down the freeway,